So there are quite a few new villains that got added into the new Spider-Man game, and I was wondering at some point, are there any that we could actually genuinely fight and win against? There are certain characters that I think we can all agree there's no way in hell, like, say, the Rhino, for instance, or Electro. It just wouldn't happen unless the Electro, perhaps if he was being cocky and you were able to, I don't know, drug him somehow, maybe you could possibly win, but, lightning's pretty dangerous, and no. One zap from that and you're probably going to be out. The Rhino's a pretty big man, even outside of his suit, so, I don't know, he's like the biggest muscle man in the game, right? I don't think any of the other large villain men are bigger than him, so yeah, that's probably not going to happen, and he most likely would be in his suit anyways if you were to meet him and know him as the Rhino, so yeah, no. And that's kind of the case for a lot of villains in the game, I think. I mean, there are certain ones that you possibly could take out, like the Vulture, assuming that you were somehow able to A, either get him to not use the dangerous parts of his suit, or B, for him to grab you, fly into the sky and drop you from a height. I'm not sure if he's ever done that, but I don't see why he wouldn't. He could do that for sure, so yeah, no, probably not a good idea to mess with him, and even if you could, he's a pretty old man, and I'm not sure how good you'd feel after beating an old man, but I'd certainly feel pretty terrible, so yeah, no. So if we start to move past a lot of the crazier abilities, or just things that we have no chance in hell actually dealing with, I think that leaves us with still fairly impossible, a good challenge being a bit of an understatement, but Wilson Fisk and Tombstone. Now, yes, Tombstone is a stretch, because to us, at least against us, more or less immortal, right? He can't be damaged by bullets, you couldn't punch him to death or really hurt him with your punches, he's able to survive buildings falling on top of him, rockets from rocket launchers, and, well, bullets obviously, and just a whole manner of dangerous things. So he's got fairly good durability, godly durability against us, really. And of course, he's a larger man, which means you don't want to try and grab him for sure, probably don't want to get hit by him more than once, or, well, ever, and tiring him out is probably the way to go. Spider-Man was able to administer the counter-drug or counter-serum to Tombstone that took away his invulnerability powers, and then he was able to be, beaten up in the game. But assuming that you don't have a handy counter-serum to his abilities on hand, because, why would you? It's not like his eyes are anything special, and he needs them just as much as you will. So you should probably try to take those things out. You probably have keys of some sort on you, if you're out and about, right? And yes, it's an improvised weapon, but it's probably the best you've got. If you have anything that could be used even remotely, like a flashbang, then maybe you could use those to help you take out his eyes, because again, the more you're getting close to him, the more at risk you are of probably being one-shotted. So yes, this guy's pretty darn strong physically, and the fact that he's much bigger than you, therefore he can actually probably hit you from distances that you just can't touch him from, doesn't help. So you're probably expending a lot of energy trying to move around, dodge his hits, but, being a bigger guy himself, he's probably also throwing a lot of energy to keep swinging at you, assuming that, you've not been caught. Because if you get caught, GG. But if you could somehow take out his vision, even temporarily, of course that gives you a massive advantage. Now, I'm not saying you'd be able to wear him down to the point where you'd be able to actually harm him or damage him. I suppose this is more so surviving Tombstone, or perhaps being able to temporarily take him down rather than actually conclusively, beating him to a pulp, because, Spider-Man might have come close to doing that. He at least beat him up to the point where he could be arrested by the police, but I don't know about a bloody pulp. I wouldn't classify Spider-Man's victories as leaving Tombstone in that sort of state. So, yeah. But that's Spider-Man. Spider-Man's probably much stronger than you or I. It's a different playing field. So yes, with Lonnie, your best bet is to somehow take out his eyes, and at that point you could either escape, or at least consider yourself as getting a small victory there, if you want to consider that winning the fight, or if he doesn't want to fight anymore at that point. Yes, okay, I suppose you could win like that, whereas with Wilson Fisk, you actually probably have a much better chance of taking him out. Of course, if you've got any sort of firearm, then that's probably GG right there, but let's assume that you don't, because yes, if you have a firearm, why would Wilson Fisk stand much of a chance? Of course, how many situations would you be in where Wilson Fisk is not using his henchmen in some way? I get the sense that he's much less likely to get his hands dirty than Tombstone, Tombstone. Not that Tombstone wouldn't also use henchmen, but, you know, we're assuming that you can somehow get into a 1v1 confrontation with these guys. With that out of the way, he's still a big man, like Tombstone, except you can actually use more of the rules against fighting bigger men, you know? So he's probably going to have more reach, he's probably going to be stronger than you, and you probably do not want to be hit by this guy. In fact, yeah, definitely don't want to be hit by this guy. As well as that, he's probably mostly more muscle than fat. In fact, he's probably all muscle and no fat, which of course sucks. But if you can tire him out, if you can make him sloppy, and if you can get enough shots into the face, you know, a lot of uppercuts, a lot of jaw hits, perhaps you might be able to take him down. Maybe. Well, if he's tangoing with superheroes and supervillains alike, and he's not really all that afraid of them, he doesn't go down instantly, and he's able to stay in the fight for quite a bit, then a couple of hooks from us mere mortals probably won't do all that much to phase him all that much. So yeah, you definitely would probably want to play the long game, especially because yeah, he doesn't exactly strike you as a supervillain, but he's pretty damn close to it. So you definitely have a tough fight on your hands. But you know, I think there's more of a chance of you being able to take down Wilson Fix than Tombstone. And I think both of them are probably your best bets in terms of taking down any of the supervillain cast in the game. Everyone else seems either a bit out of the realm of possibility, or you just wouldn't want to fight for one reason or another, like, you know, wouldn't want to beat up an old man, or something along those lines, right? So, yeah. But yes, that was more or less the video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and leave a like. I should also mention that in an actual fight, I doubt these men will be swinging around and behaving the way they were as they were fighting Spider-Man, right? Just randomly throwing themselves at him without any tactile thought, especially against someone who's not Spider-Man, right? They wouldn't necessarily have to fight like that, especially not Willy. Willy probably would be a bit more tactful. They wouldn't be swinging that slowly in real life if you would actually fight them, at least. It wouldn't seem as slow as that. You definitely have to bob and weave and try not to get hit, and that would be pretty difficult considering the fact that these guys, you know, they're somewhat experienced in fighting, they know what they're doing, right? I sure as hell wouldn't, but yes. If you happen to enjoy the video though, go ahead, pop the like button, pop the subscribe button if you enjoyed it that much and want to see more content, and until the next video, have a very good day. I've been Prime, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.